رب العالمين وأفضل الصلوات وأتم التسليم على أشرف خلق الله محمد وآله الطاهرين. So we've covered the topic of courage and it being one of the very important virtues of a human being, and we explained the many benefits of ash-shuja'a, not only as you in your personal life, but also in your social interaction with others. As a courageous person, a brave person, you're going to be way more relied upon by other people than if you were a jaban. And I mean jaban, or a coward in the worst of sense, because there's nothing good about this vice of cowardice, of al-jubn, not jibin. What's jibin mean? Yeah, alaykum salam. Al-jubn. Al-jubn means being a coward. This is one of the vices, one of the radha'il that all of us also need to work on. Don't think that because you, for example, can take out the rubbish bin in the middle of the night and you're not scared, it does not mean that you are a chicken. There are a lot of people, yarhamakumullah, there are a lot of people that you probably know that are full-grown, mature adults are scared of cockroaches. Men. I've come across more men than I have women being scared of cockroaches. I know, remember Ibrahim, a full-grown man, bless you. Kafi ba'd. I know a full-grown man who was scared on getting on a horse. And he had a nervous breakdown. Akbar min hadha. I'm serious. He had a nervous breakdown. He was having the breathing through one of those paper bags, panicking. Ahsantum ma'jurin, jazakumullah khair. Panicking in because he wasn't able to overcome the fear. Were you there, Ali? No, you weren't there. He wasn't. The fear of riding a horse. When we're talking about being a coward, we're not talking about being scared, because being scared is not a bad thing, by the way. Having fear is not a bad thing. A lot of times you need to be scared and have fear. It's a natural instinct as a human being for you to be scared of certain things and scenarios, especially the unknown. Especially the unknown. You have no idea what is there ahead of you, and you don't know if you're going to be safe, if you're not going to be safe. And that's why this topic is really, really important. When we spoke about shuja'a, that was also really important on an individual level and also on a social level and as a leader as well. And we know when it comes to being a coward, we have many examples, but of course we need to refrain from giving these examples. Alaykum salam. We need to refrain from giving these examples of who are the jubana, who are cowards in, of course, the leadership sense. And therefore, this is something that we need to develop, we need to look into, we need to focus on me, please. We need to look into and understand what happened. Please read the definition, look at the definition. A simple definition of a coward, what it is. Anyone knows who that picture is? Huh? Who is it? What's his name? Yeah, but what's his name? What's his name? You don't know? No one knows. Calvin, what are you saying? Huh? Tarzan? Hashbikum hai. So if you've watched the original Wizard of Oz, whichever one it is, this is... Yeah, thank you for Googling it. This is the Cowardly Lion. Of course, that is, conflicting. It's contradictory because apparently the lion is supposed to be the brave heart. That's why they say brave lion or lion hearts, in that you've got, you're a very courageous person, you're a very brave person and whatnot. But this person has somehow come about to represent al-jubn, to represent cowardice. Of course, when you look at the word coward, you can also look at a lot of synonyms that pretty much have the same kind of meaning, like being gutless, like being spineless. These kind of harsh expressions, if we could say, all explain really what it means to be a coward, that you're spineless, that you're gutless. If you did have a gut, if you did have a spine, you would be brave and courageous and things like that. Just imagine you were in a situation where, you were being attacked. Who is it that is going to stand up for you or be there for you or help you or defend you? If you know for a fact that this person is so scared, he's even scared of his own shadow. Thank you, Mr. Jaburi. Naim and Rida. And that's why in the Quran, in a lot of cases, when the Quran speaks about bravery and about courage, it's also speaking about war. If you're a man of war, if you are, there knowing you're leaving your house, knowing for a fact that it's highly unlikely that you are going to return, that needs a lot of guts, doesn't it? That needs a lot of bravery and courage, doesn't it? I've spoken about war here before, and I've spoken about how damaging and how sad war is if it's not fought for a cause. And in certain cases, if you were to look at the statistics, you would really, really, really feel sorry for all of these people that lost their lives. Vietnam, for example, the Vietnam War. Look it up yourself. And look at how many people lost their lives for absolutely no reason. What does Vietnam have? Why did they go into Vietnam in the first place? What about Japan? What threat does Vietnam and Japan have for America? Huh? Did you know that there were more American soldiers that died from suicide? I've mentioned this before, haven't I? That died from suicide more than those who died in the battlefield and at war. And a lot of them come back, they have tabagat. You know what tabagat means? Because of their PTSD, PDF. And that's very sad. Compare that to a mujahid, who's fighting for a cause, who's fighting for a cause. And that's why a lot of cases you've got runaways. In the olden days, the punishment for a runaway soldier is death by, of course, being shot. And many of them ran away from the battlefield. Why do I need to fight a causeless war? In Islam, as you know, if you are going to battle, if you are going to jihad, and you are in the battlefield, it is haram for you to run away. It is haram for you to step back, not just run away. Unless it's you doing some tactical maneuver. Not talking about COD or things like that. We're talking about real fighting. Modern warfare, ma'adushuno. Roadblocks. One of the sins, one of the major sins is running away from the battlefield in jihad. Why are you doing that? Why did you go there in the first place? Ghair, so you can defend the honor of your religion and your country. You're not going there for personal gains. But there are some people, unfortunately, who during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did that. They ran away from the battlefield. One of them, not going to drop no names, they found him 3 days later after the ma'arikah. They found him 3 days later sitting on a tree. They said, Ya Inzil, what's going on? Where are you? What are you doing? He said, is it all done? Is it finished? Is it gone? Okay, I'll come down. Is that the kind of leader that you want? So jubn is really, really bad. Look at this verse from the Holy Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu idha laqitum الذين إذا لقيتم الذين كفروا زحفا فلا تولوهم الأدبار. Do not turn your backs to flee from them. Everyone reading? وَمَنْ يُوَلِّهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ دُبُرَهُ إِلَّا مُتَحَرِّفًا لِقِتَالٍ أَوْ مُتَحَيِّزًا إِلَى فِئَةٍ فَقَدْ بَاءَ بِغَضَبٍ min Allah. They are going to earn God's wrath and anger. وَمَأْوَاهُ جَهَنَّمَ وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ. And they're ultimately going to end up in hell. Look here down the bottom, what it says from Imam Ali alayhi salam. احذروا الجبن. Be careful of cowardice. فَإِنَّهُ عَارٌ. Because it's a disgraceful trait. It's a shameful characteristic. Why does someone become a coward? Either because they don't know or fear of the unknown, and they don't want to know. Ya but jump from the high ropes. Ya Sa'idi, jump. It's good. Nothing's going to happen. You've got 500 wires attached to you. Even if we wanted to kill you, we can't. Knowing that nothing bad is going to happen to me is, of course, going to help me remove and eliminate that level of fear. How many people do we know, or ourselves, when we were young, we really thought there was something under our bed? Who found something under their bed other than rotten apples and things like that? Huh? What have you found? A monster? What? Oh, okay. They're using your bed as a storage, Sayyid. People are scared of the dark, right? Because they can't see themselves. But nothing's going to happen. Neither are there going to be any jinn, nor is there going to be any thief who's going to be hiding under your bed for 12, 13 hours until you go to sleep and then they come and they do something, right? Nor is it going to turn out to be Poltergeist or something like that. Have you watched Poltergeist? Has anyone watched Poltergeist? Right? Watch it. Watch it tonight before suhoor. Another reason for jubn and being a coward is having a weak shakhsiyah, weak personality, a broken personality, low self-esteem, low self-value, low self-respect, lack of confidence. All these bad, negative mental things that are really important for every single person to have, right? This person lacks them, and that's not good at all. And that would make you scared. Liesh, why? Because you don't trust yourself. You don't trust your own judgment. And therefore you're scared of what's going to happen. You're scared of the consequence. Another thing is too dunyawi. Okay, well, if I save my friend from drowning and I have to jump in the water and I lose my life, what's going to happen to my yacht and my Lexus car and my this and my that? What's going to happen to these things? Someone else is going to take them. Ibrahim's going to take them off me. I'm not going to allow that to happen. Too dunyawi. That's why you would be hesitant and too much of a coward to take that step forward. Another reason is weak iman, weak faith. You don't really believe in qiyamah and thawab and reward and jannah and these kind of things. So you don't really think that there's something waiting for you. What's the point in doing all these good things, knowing that, well, nothing's gonna benefit me whatsoever. And that's why Imam Ali alayhi salam here down the bottom, he says, Innal bukhl, being, what's bukhl mean? Stingy. Wal jubn, being cowards. Wal hirs, what's hirs mean? Huh? No, hirs means avarice. We mentioned this before, and too possessive, hirs. Ghara'izun shatta, they are different types of feelings and desires. Yajma'uha, what combines them? What brings them together? Su'u dhannu billah, by you having bad suspicion towards God, bad thoughts towards God. Su'u dhann billah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what is meant by weak faith. What about the dangers of being a coward? First of all, you're not going to take them on a camping trip or a fishing trip, right? Because they're going to be too scared. Oh, the water's too shallow. The water's too deep. The water's too this. What happens if I this? What about that? All these other kind of lame excuses that come about. And that's why we don't know how each one of us is unless we challenge them. Unless we challenge them. And most of you have been to our camps, so we know each other's good, strong parts and weak parts. None of us have only strong parts. None of us have only weak parts. We have strong areas and we have weak areas. We have to work on them. We have to work on them. With strong areas, we strengthen them. With weak areas, we eliminate them and make them strong. I was just talking in my previous program at Nike on social media platforms, and I was mentioning this to some of the boys last night as well, that it's disgusting the amount of things that you see on TikTok and Snapchat and the vulgarity that is there. And some sick people have an addiction to it. They can't get off it. Wallah, if you don't have it, you're not missing out on nothing. Bil'aqs, you're keeping your sanity, you're keeping your well-being. Only 90, I won't say everyone, I'll say 98% of people who have Snapchat and things like that are low lives. I confidently say that. And I strongly encourage you to delete Snapchat and TikTok and all these other platforms. Keep Facebook if you want to. Keep Instagram if you want to. Huh? What? What is it? Reels? What's that? It's not good. And we have to have that strong willpower in self-restraint. We have to have that strong willpower in self-restraint. Maliki, are you on the phone? Because in about half an hour you're going to say your phone's dead. Are you on the phone? All right, put it away, put it in your pocket. Ali, monitor him, watch him. You're worse probably. You're probably on the phone until you and Tuni. Who? All right. You see? You don't like care about me. We have the Sayyid here, mashallah. Sayyid here sitting down. At least care about him as well. Paying attention, please. It's really important for us to stay switched on and not be dragged into today's mu'affin society. Because we have to preserve our level of integrity. It's really, really important. And we can only get that if we go back to our roots and our origins, our culture, our tradition. What did I speak about last night? Parents and respect, and how we undermine the value of our parents, and we think our parents are dumb because they're old-fashioned, because they're talking la-la land language. But in most of the cases, they always end up right. In most of the cases, they end up right. We can't be influenced by this negative society that's around us. Dangers of a jaban and being a jaban. No patience. What's sloth mean? Lazy. Lazy, careless. No change. You don't want to change. You are who you are. You don't want to change anything in your life. Someone says to you, yeah, but look, you're ugly. Go get a nose job. Straight away, next day you'll go get a nose job. Next day you'll go register and you'll say, I want to get a nose job. Right? But someone says, you've got bad akhlaq. You've got bad adab. You say, oh, well, I am who I am. You know, take it or leave it. That's wrong. Everyone, all of us need to change. We all need to change. Another reason is scared of being abused. You don't want someone to hurl abuse at you, saying, you're fashil, you're a failure, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Dajun. He's the culprit, he's the criminal, Hada Dajun. He's the criminal, Hada. Everything is Dajun's fault. Everything. Yalla, Ali Alisas came to supervise. Look at him. Oh, you're the worst out of all of them. Paying attention, everyone, please. I don't want to call security. Being abused or being mistreated by others because you've got a bad characteristic, you're working on it. You're trying to work on it. Slowly, slowly. Once we had this case where one of the boys, he was sitting on one of the low ropes. Wasn't a high rope, excuse me. Wasn't a high rope. Was one of the low ropes. يمكن ساعة, ها علي? يمكن 1 hour. The instructor was begging him, yalla, walk at least, or come back down at least. And then we had this other case in last summer of abuse as well. And we all know the story of the report that happened. Yalla, if you come back down, I'm going to اقطع راسك, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Abused. This is applicable to one of our brothers here. Bad suspicion. Su'u dhan. I just mentioned that from Imam Ali alayhi salam. Su'u dhan billah and su'u dhan in others as well. I don't trust you. Have you seen that kind of like thing that they do in functions and whatnot, where someone stands up and they do this, and then other people are behind them, they're doing this. I don't know what they call it. Trust what? Trust fall. Right? Trust fall. 100% it will fail with us because we'll intentionally move back and let them fall back down, crack the back of their skulls. Trust is very important. Bad suspicion in God, also bad suspicion in others as well is not good. Yani, I don't trust you, so therefore I'm not going to take the risk. I'm a coward. That's also not good. And of course, as we've mentioned, it's a major sin as well. You live a dhaleel life. You will live a dhaleel life. A life of humiliation. You won't have mental stability. You'll always be jumping from here to there. Right? Because you don't want to challenge yourself. You don't want to make changes. You don't want to compete. Right? You have no patience. You haven't learned to be patient. You're also lazy. You're comfortable where you are. You don't want to make any of those changes. You're negative, pessimistic. You're a shunu cup, half empty cup kind of person. That's not good as well. It's going to be damaging for others because I'm not going to be able to rely on you if something bad happens, because you're going to be the first one to run away. And it's also very, very damaging. And number 6, we've already mentioned. What are the signs of a coward? Read them out. What's your name? Jannat. Can you read them? Do you know how to read English? Yalla, go. Ghira. عن منكر. I'm going to start doing some nahi an munkar on you boys, okay? So stop it. Huh? Thuglu, suduk thuglu. Jannat is reading. So naughty boys, all naughty boys, aren't they? Stinky boys. Nahi an munkar and stop. Or a crime. Too scared, right? You see something happening right in front of you. Majority of people won't do anything about it, right? But as in Islam, our religion has taught us to always defend ourselves and defend others. We don't even need to know them, but we will risk our own lives for the sake of other people. It happens all the time. All the time. Yep, carry on. Yes. Thank you very much. How do you cure being a jaban? Jump off a cliff. Literally. You need to understand and recognize and acknowledge that you have this naqs, this shortcoming that you need to deal with, that you need to address. Gain knowledge. Work on your self-esteem, and then force yourself into that situation. You only need to do a bungee jump once, and then after that it becomes zalata. Who's done bungee jumping here? Have you, Ibrahim? Really? Where? Huh? Bungee jump? No, we haven't done bungee jumping. We've done the free jump. What was that called? That free fly? What was that called? Alayhi salam. Not flying fox. Who said flying fox? Ma'adi. No, that thing that Hassan was scared to jump off. Hassan. Free fall? Leap of faith. Yeah, leap of faith. Hadith from Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alih. Again, the last 10 nights, alhamdulillah, we've been speaking about virtues and vices, and we're drilling into our brains, our minds. If you've been absent the last couple of nights, whichever one, watch them on YouTube and remind yourself of your duty that you have. وَأَمَّا, I just recited this ayah right now in the previous program. It's still ringing in my mind. وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ. Whoever fears the position, the status of their Lord. وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى. And you prohibit, you stop your nafs from what it is that you are inclined towards doing in the haram way, your lusts, your desires, and things like that. What is going to be the reward if you were to do these two things? If you were to fear your Lord, yani fear, yani respect. And number two, if you were to control yourself and have self-restraint. Not everything that your nafs wants, you have to give it. What's going to happen? What's going to be the reward for that? فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. Heaven will be your abode, your everlasting abode. Your everlasting abode. It's as simple as that. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. So the point here that I'm trying to make is, make sure that you look into these virtues and vices and work on them. Later on, in a couple of years, when you're at a later age, it's going to be very, very difficult to get rid of them. Very difficult. Try to qanna', try to convince, try to change a 50-year-old man or a 40-year-old woman about anything. Very difficult. العلم في الصغر كالنقش في الحجر. Knowledge at a young age is like carving on a rock. The older you get, it's very similar to you drawing on sand. It's going to be going away very, very easily. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, he says, شَرُّ مَا فِي رَجُلٍ شُحٌّ هَالِعٌ وَجُبْنٌ خَالِعٌ. The worst thing that you can find in a man is being a stingy person, very stingy, alarming, niggardliness. That's why I said stingy. That's why I used the word stingy. Right? Calm down, Asfar. And وَجُبْنٌ خَالِعٌ, and unrestrained coward. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, Man haba khab. Beautiful. Three words Imam Ali says this. If you are scared, if you are frightened, you are always going to fail. You're always going to fail. If you're always frightened, if you're frightened, you will fail. Man haba khab. Not خوب. خاب يعني خاب. ما خاب من تمسك بكم. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he said, and how many times have I said this hadith before right here? إذا هبت أمرا فقع فيه. If you're scared of something, throw yourself into it. إذا هبت أمرا فقع فيه. If you are scared of something, throw yourself into it. You're scared of this business. You don't know, you're going to fail, you're going to pass, you're going to win, you're going to lose. You don't know what's going to happen. Go ahead. Take the risk. Be a risk taker. Don't be a chicken. Don't be a coward. Be a risk taker. Even maybe later on you won't pass, you won't get that, those results that you want, but at least you won't regret that you didn't take that opportunity. And successful people will always say to you that we always tried even when we were scared. Trial and error until we got it finally. But you're not going to get anywhere if you're sitting down on your couch watching Netflix and TikTok and whatnot. You're never going to get anywhere in life. You're going to be a more and more and more of a jaban. All right? فإن شدة توقيه أشد من الوقوع فيه. Indeed, Imam Ali says, the severity of protecting yourself is greater than you entering into that situation that you need to be entering into. Which is why it's a skill, being brave, being courageous. You need to have that characteristic. You need to have that sifa, whether it be taking the rubbish out in the middle of the night and not being scared, whether it be sleeping with the lights off, whether it be helping someone in a bad situation, whether it be standing up for someone else's haqq and right. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of you, Mr. Bully. Right? You don't scare me. Whatever it may be, you need to make sure that you are shuja', that you are brave. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi tahirin.